The room buzzed with mockery, sharp and unrelenting. They laughed at her small frame, her worn-out shoes, her faded shirt patched at the seams. They called her the cleaner's cousin, the wannabe fighter, a walking dumbbell. But in one electrifying round, Anna Reed, a 53-year-old woman, dropped a cocky 80-kilo fighter with a single, perfect liver hook, and the gym fell silent, as if mourning its own arrogance. It was a humid Tuesday afternoon in Brooklyn when Anna stepped into Apex Boxing Gym. The air reeked of sweat, leather, and overpriced energy drinks. The gym was a divided world. In the back, hardened boxers trained, their knuckles taped, faces bruised from sparring. Up front, influencers and wealthy novices paid for Instagram-perfect workouts, their poses reflected in gleaming mirrors. Anna, at 5 feet 3 inches and 132 pounds, barely registered. Her white t-shirt was threadbare, her boxing shorts patched, her shoes cracked and squeaking on the polished floor. Her gloves, scuffed and frayed, hung from her wrist. A faint scar traced her chin, subtle but striking. She carried a worn canvas bag, her brown eyes scanning the room, calm, piercing, like a blade hidden in a sheath. Her steps were deliberate, her presence quiet but heavy, unnoticed by the chattering crowd. At the front desk, Ryan, a trainer with a chiseled jaw and an Apex-branded tank top, flipped through a sign-up sheet. He was half listening to Mia, an influencer complaining about the gym's lighting ruining her TikTok. Anna set her bag down. "Hi," she said, her voice soft but clear, cutting through the noise. "Can I sign up for a sparring round?" Ryan froze, his eyes raking over her worn gear. His lips twitched, almost a smirk. "Sparring? In the ring?" he said, doubt dripping from his tone. "This isn't a fitness class." "Ever thrown a punch?" Mia snorted, adjusting her sports bra. "Sweetie, you're gonna get crushed," she said, loud enough for nearby trainees to chuckle. Anna's face stayed calm, her posture relaxed, as if the taunts were background noise. Then came a barking laugh, sharp enough to turn heads. Ethan Cole, 26, 6 feet 1 inch, 80 kilos of lean muscle and unchecked ego, leaned against a punching bag. His new gloves gleamed, his hair gelled to perfection. Ethan was the gym's self-proclaimed star, an amateur with a few wins against weak opponents, known for filming sparring sessions to humiliate beginners online. He sized Anna up, his grin predatory. "Sparring here?" he said, his voice carrying. "You're what, 100 pounds soaking wet? I'd break you with a sneeze." The crowd erupted. "Yo, Ethan, don't snap her in half!" a guy in an Apex tank top shouted. "Careful, champ, you'll owe her hospital bills," a woman with a high ponytail added. The gym vibrated with cruel laughter, each jab aimed at Anna's quiet dignity. Anna tilted her head, her voice even, almost polite. "You up for a round with me?" she asked. The crowd's laughter grew vicious, a chorus of jeers pressing against her. Influencers with manicured nails clutched energy drinks, sneering. "Those shoes, did she pull them from a dumpster?" one hissed. Another mimicked Anna's walk, exaggerating the squeak of her shoes. "She's lost. This is a gym, not a charity," a woman with a diamond nose stud cackled. A sweaty trainee leaned in. "Yo, Ethan, you're fighting the cleaner's cousin. Make it quick." The mockery was relentless, a storm of contempt Anna refused to acknowledge. She stood by the ring, adjusting her gloves, her face betraying nothing, no shame, no anger. The air thickened with disdain, but Anna's focus was unshaken. The crowd's laughter bounced off the mirrors. Mia doubled over, clutching her water bottle. "Oh my God, she's serious!" she gasped. A trainee filming his deadlifts called out, "Hey, lightweight, try yoga instead." No one took her seriously, not Ryan, not Mia, not the trainers or the kids posing with dumbbells. Ethan clapped theatrically, playing to his audience. "Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a challenger." Miss Office Clerk wants to dance with Ethan Cole. The influencers giggled, phones out, ready to capture the comedy. Ryan smirked, scribbling Anna's name on the sheet. Fine. 1 round, 3 minutes. Ethan, go easy, she's probably never thrown a punch. Coach Dave, a grizzled man with a face like worn leather, stepped forward. You don't have to win, sweetheart, he said patronizingly. Just survive. Tap out if it gets rough. Anna nodded, her lips a thin line, and climbed into the ring, her shoes scuffing the canvas. As she entered, a trainer named Vince leaned toward a group of regulars, his voice loud enough to carry. This is a joke, right? She's gonna get hurt, and we'll clean up the mess. He gestured at Anna. Those gloves are ancient. She's here to impress some guy. A woman in designer leggings laughed. Impress? She looks like she's auditioning for a budget Rocky. The gym's atmosphere grew uglier, each taunt a strike at Anna's resolve. A kid with a man bun zoomed in on her scar, muttering, Bet that's from tripping over her ego. Yet Anna didn't respond, her focus locked on the ring as if the crowd didn't exist. The bell rang, and Ethan came out swinging, his jab snapping like a whip. He threw a 3-punch combo, jab, cross, jab, his gloves slicing the air. Anna didn't throw a punch. She shifted her weight, sliding across the canvas with a smoothness that seemed effortless. She slipped left, then right, her head tilting to let Ethan's punches graze past. She dipped under a high cross, her knees bending fluidly. The crowd, busy cheering Ethan, didn't notice her skill at first, expecting her to crumble. Trainers by the ropes kept up their commentary. She'll run out in 10 seconds, one said. Bet she trips over those clown shoes, another laughed. A woman shouted, Hey, lightweight, forgot your tutu? The gym's energy was toxic, a frenzy of ridicule. But Marcus, a wiry trainer with a boxer's nose, squinted from the sidelines. Hold up, he muttered to a colleague, Derek. That's not beginner defense. That's Muay Thai movement. Derek frowned. She's just dodging. Lucky. Marcus shook his head. No. Look at her feet. That's trained. His voice carried unease, like he'd seen something dangerous. 20 seconds in, Ethan's confidence frayed. His punches hit air, and Anna hadn't raised her gloves to block. She was reading him, her eyes tracking his shoulders, his hips. Ethan growled, stepping closer, his frustration boiling. He threw a wide right hook, showy but sloppy, leaving him exposed. Anna pivoted, her lead foot planted, her back heel sweeping out. Ethan stumbled, his gloves dropping for a split second. The gym's laughter died, replaced by murmurs. Did you see that? Mia whispered, her phone still recording. She made him miss, Derek muttered, confused. The crowd's certainty cracked. Midway through, as Anna dodged another wild swing, regulars chanted, Take her down! Their voices gleeful, as if her presence was an insult. You're embarrassing yourself, girl! A woman shouted. Ethan, put her on the floor! A man added. The chant grew aggressive, drowning out Ethan's heavy breathing. Yet Anna moved with precision, her eyes never leaving him, her body flowing around his attacks. Ethan, now furious, squared up for a showy uppercut, thinking he had her cornered. Anna saw it coming, her eyes flicking to his elbow. She crouched, her hips rotating, her core tightening. Her right glove snapped forward, a liver hook landing square between ribs 8 and 9. The sound was sickening, a dull, wet thud. Ethan froze, his smirk gone. His eyes widened, his breath caught. His knees buckled, and he collapsed, curling into himself, hands clutching his side. The gym went silent, only the hum of lights and the creak of ropes audible. Ethan's face turned pale green, his mouth open as he coughed, unable to move. A trainer vaulted into the ring, shouting, Check his breathing. The crowd stood frozen, phones still raised, mouths agape. Marcus whispered. That was textbook. A liver hook. Almost no one lands it that clean. Derek stared. She didn't even look mad. Anna stepped back, gloves raised, breathing steady. She didn't look at Ethan or the crowd, her scar catching the light. The trainer checked Ethan's pulse, muttering about shock. The gym's bravado vanished, replaced by stunned silence. The door swung open, and Coach Frank, a New York Golden Gloves legend, stepped in. His graying hair and sharp eyes took in the scene. Ethan curled on the canvas, Anna calm in the ring. He burst out laughing, a deep, gravelly sound that shattered the tension. I knew it was you, he said, pointing at Anna. Anna Reed, former Northeast lightweight champion. Retired after a knee injury. You idiots just mocked the Phantom, 60 kilos of pure destruction. His laughter faded, his eyes gleaming with pride. You thought you were clever, huh? That's Anna, undefeated for 3 years. She broke jaws before you could throw a jab. The crowd shrank. Mia's face paled, her phone limp. The guy in the Apex tank top stared at the floor. Frank stepped closer. She came to test herself, not show off. You showed the world how small you are. Anna unstrapped her gloves, her silence louder than Frank's words. The gym held its breath, mirrors reflecting a humbled crowd. Ryan stared at the sign-up sheet, jaw slack. A trainee whispered, We insulted a champion. Another murmured, She made us look like fools without a word. Anna stepped out of the ring, her shoes squeaking. The trainer beside Ethan muttered, You're lucky she didn't aim higher. That shot could have stopped your heart. Marcus added, That's not skill, that's mastery. You laughed at a woman who could have ended this in 10 seconds. Anna stopped, locking eyes with a still recording phone. I don't need you to know my name, she said, her voice firm. Just remember, never judge a woman by her size. She walked out, her bag swinging, leaving silence in her wake. The video spread like wildfire, uploaded raw with the title, Don't mock who you don't know. It showed the laughter, the fight, the silence, Anna's hook, Frank's reveal, her final words. It went viral, not for drama but for its raw truth, sparking debates online. Was the gym's cruelty deserved? Did Ethan get what was coming? Comments flooded in. She's a legend. They humiliated themselves. Never underestimate anyone. The clip became the year's most talked about boxing moment, replayed worldwide. Anna didn't see it. She had no social media, no interest in fame. Back in her Queens apartment, she sipped coffee, her gloves tucked away. She'd come to Apex to feel the canvas again, to know she still had it. The mockery had stirred something, but she didn't fight for them, she fought for herself. The gym changed. Influencers were quieter, trainers more cautious, Ethan a shadow of his former self. Anna's name, the Phantom, became a legend, a warning, true power doesn't need a spotlight. Her story leaves us questioning, was the gym's mockery just harmless fun, or did it cross a line? Should Anna have spoken up sooner, or was her silence her strength? Share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about teasing in competitive spaces? Does it build character or breed cruelty? Let's debate and keep this story alive.